Well, hello there, boys and girls. We got something special for you today. We are making a FPS games tier list. So, we have found a template on tiermaker.com that had a whole bunch of FPS games already in here. I'm going to take what they have. I might have some other ones that I think are personally better and missing from this list. I've took a quick peek through it, and there are some that are missing here, and maybe I'll bring them up, or maybe we'll make our own again. And go from there. But I wanted to take what they have and what they're showing here, and we'll go from here. So let's begin our top. I think it's a 100, or maybe not 100. I didn't actually count of FPS games, and we're going to tier list them. So here we go. We had S, A, B, C, and D. So let's start off with the first one, Alien Isolation. I haven't played it. As far as I know, you don't shoot in it, for one. You hide from the alien, but the AI is supposed to be really good. I've watched a little bit of it. It's really cool. It's a good concept. Is it for me, being somebody who wants to shoot things and bounce around like a crazy person, like in Doom or something like that? Probably not. I think it's a really good job at what it does, and probably one of the best. I'll give it a. I feel like there needs to be maybe one more category, but we'll slot it in right in the middle at B. I think it's average as far as an FPS game, but above average as far as like the horror suspense genre. So we're gonna slot it right in the middle. It's okay. Killzone. All right. I feel like all of these are kind of. I'm gonna lump them into one. I've played a couple of them here and there. None of them were anything to write home about for me. I don't think I ever played the third one. I played 1 and 2, or maybe just the first one when it came out for PlayStation 2. I don't remember if Killzone 2 came out for PlayStation 2 or not, but I remember trying them. And Killzone 4, the Shadowfall one, I got when I first got my PS4. It was like one of the launch titles. I got Killzone. It stands with I believe it was NBA Playgrounds 1, is one of the few games I have ever returned because it was just not good. I didn't like it. Maybe some people out there like Killzone Shadowfall. To me, it was just like so middle of the road and not really great at anything, and it was just kind of a disappointment that I literally went back and traded in for Battlefield 4, which again, you know what you're getting, but I don't think Killzone Shadowfall was really anything to write home about. Is it a bad game? Should you avoid it? No, not really. Like, if it interests you and you like the other Killzones, it's probably serviceable. But for me, I put this on a D. Is it a don't ever touch it, don't ever play it? No, I don't think it's a terrible game, but I think with the rest of them too, I'll put Killzone 1 up here because I think it had a little bit, when it came out and when it was played, I think it was a little bit more of a I don't know, an eye-opener. It had something new, whereas this one, I gotta give it a little bit less because it just didn't do it. So I'm not even gonna rank Killzone 2 or 3. They're somewhere in between these, I can imagine, but I don't remember them as well as the first one and the fourth one. Resistance Fall of Man. Again, these two I'm not familiar with. I'm sure I played Resistance Fall of Man at some point, at least to try it. You know, it's all right, but we're gonna leave it off. I'm not a fair one for that. Crisis. Okay. Crisis. What to say about Crisis? Well, I mean, we all know about Can It Run Crisis, everything like that. It's when it came out, and now, I think again, Crisis as a whole is very much a middle of the road game. It's cool. You're a super soldier. You got suit powers. You get to run around the island and everything. When it came out and had kind of that open world-ish feel to it, even though it kind of made you go a certain ways, you could attack them in different directions. It had some good ideas and everything like that. Is it a great game? It's okay. It's okay. I put it at B. It's middle of the road. It's enjoyable. But I don't think it's amazing. And I think here's like, I'm a person that's not overly harsh about things. So it's really hard for me to say never touch a game. It's terrible. So like even things in D-list, take it with a grain of salt, and maybe on some other person's list they would be higher. Like all this might be shifted up, but I have a high I guess expectations for a game that's S tier, and I have a lot of things I let go for a lot of games and can accept, because I think I've, as a person that's played a lot of different games over the years, and I will try anything. That's literally what I like to do, as you know, with the Talic Tries series, and always did growing up from the first systems and games. I played a lot of bad, and I find a lot of good in bad. So there's like, it's hard for me to not recommend the game sometimes. So even if they're not good games, I think a lot of the times they can be fun and enjoyable, and get the job done. I don't think they're necessarily like never touch them, ever look at them. So Crysis 2 and 3, I'm gonna lump in with Crysis 1. They're probably about the same. I don't remember them as much, and I guess that tells you a lot. Is that they're B games. They're all right. Dying Light. This one's a toughie because I know a lot of people really love Dying Light, and I think it was the zombie game a lot of us wanted. You finally had guns, you finally had melee weapons, parkour, crafting. There was a story in it that it kept you going. It wasn't. I'm not a story guy either, so I didn't find Dying Light to be anything to write home about as far as the story. I did play through the whole thing though, and played in co-op and stuff like that a couple times as well. I think Dying Light is a very good game, but at the same time, I know there was some issues with like the PC port and things like that, and there were like it always felt weird to me. It felt weird. And as a person who really likes FPS games, when FPS games feel weird to control the character and to aim and to shoot and stuff like that, that is like one of the biggest detriments. I think like Doom and Unreal are like games that feel really good. So when a game feels weird and is a little bit clunky and you have to get used to it, I don't think it's inherently a bad thing, but I also don't think it's a great thing. So Dying Light, again, I'm gonna put it at A. I'm gonna give it an A because I think it's a step above these. So I think Dying Light is an A game. Yeah, if I had more grades, it might slide in between here, but we'll see what even in this list comes out at A or S. Time Splitters 2. This one's tough. I think this is, again, I'm gonna put it as an A game because I don't remember it being amazing like a lot of people loved it. I remember there was other party games like this that I liked a little bit more, but did I hate Time Splitters? No. It was a really good split screen shooter. I don't remember the story at all, if I ever even played the story, but I remember playing split screen multiplayer with people. Was it good? Yeah. As far as a shooter, yeah, it was good. I'll give it an A, especially for it being a PS2 at the time and a controller game. It felt good. It was fun. It was fun. Call of Duty Ghosts, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Those were, I believe, actually I might have skipped Infinite Warfare. I don't remember. I had Advanced or Infinite, one of these two. I skipped one of them. Call of Duty, like Ghosts, I remember skipping, I think. Advanced Warfare, this is a toughie. I put them at like B. That one goes there. Infinite Warfare was the one I skipped. Advanced Warfare was the one I had. Put it at B. It was serviceable. It's a COD game. You know what you're gonna get at this point with COD, at least. And some of it, even might drop it down to C, because this one, let's put it at C. It's really middle of the road, and I think the COD formula is middle of the road at this point. It's like, you know what you're gonna get, and it's a safe bet, and you kind of get the same thing every year with a different skin on it, per se, but it's all enjoyable, and like it's a good thing, I think, is that you kind of know what you're going to get, and it's the same thing, and you enjoy it, you're going to have fun with it, you can relax with it, you can get try hard if that's what you want to call it, and really get into it. There's hardcore modes, there's softcore modes, there's everything you could want. There's a campaign usually, there's like the zombie modes, there's a lot that it does well. But is it like on the level of some of these other ones, especially Advanced Warfare? No, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of drawbacks with that one. Doom 1, I think, Doom 1, you put it in S tier. Like, for its time, it's hard to compare Doom 1 to Doom, like, Eternal or something like that. But for its time, especially, and the fact that it kind of started a lot of things, I think you put it at S tier. It's a fantastic game. I don't think there's obviously critiques for it, but I think it's a really good game, especially for its time when it came out. Doom 3 was okay. I don't think it was as good as the other Dooms, and I think it was more of like horror spooky than it was like crazy FPS. Make you feel like you're able to just rocket launcher everybody in the face and jump around 50 times. This was more like horror spooky Doom. I'm gonna put this one at B because I did enjoy it for what it was, but for different reasons than like the new Doom right here, which I also think is I think it's an S tier game. I'll put it at A, but I also think it's better than these other two. I think because of the way it feels and the game itself, I think it's very good. Don't think it's S tier, but it's very, very good. I really love the new Dooms. Counter-Strike Go, it's S tier. Do I play Counter-Strike anymore? No. Do I have an inkling to play Counter-Strike anymore? No. I played Counter-Strike since the early days. I'm one of those people with like the 15, 16, 17-year-old Steam account. I don't even remember. And I played Counter-Strike before that, before Steam was even a thing. And I love Counter-Strike. I think it's one of the better shooters ever made. And as far as like esports and competitive gaming go, I think it's also one of the best games set up for that. I think there's just so many good things to say about Counter-Strike. There's obviously a lot of critiques about it too. But as far as shooters go and FPS games, I think Counter-Strike is one of the best out there. And it kind of always will be an S tier game, even if I don't have the inkling to play it anymore because of community and the way multiplayer games go and things like that. I just don't enjoy it as much. Overwatch I think is an S tier game as well. I initially did not like it when it first came into like beta or just released. I tried this and Battleborn. I bought Battleborn over it because those were the two games that were kind of in competition. Even though Battleborn and Overwatch are two completely different games. Battleborn was a MOBA like hero shooter, and Overwatch was much more the pushcart hero shooter. Battleborn being a MOBA FPS was not fair that those two got compared, and I really liked Battleborn as well, to be honest. Even though I'm not a MOBA guy, I really liked it. Overwatch is just really, really good, and it does what it does really well. The character design is top notch. The lore design is top notch. They make levels really well. They do a pretty good job with their skins when they do release them. They do need to do more, I believe. But everything about Overwatch, I think, is really, really good. And they did a lot of good things. Everybody has their opinions about loot box systems and everything like that. But I really like the way Overwatch was set up. And I think it's an S tier game. 100%. Titanfall 2. What can we say about Titanfall 2? There's a lot to be said. Again, I think it was overshadowed by Battlefield and things like that. I did buy Titanfall 2 at the time, and it had a lot of fun with it. I didn't play a lot of Titanfall 1. I was late to party on that one as well, but I did play my fair share of it. I think both of these are probably on the same level. Titanfall 2 is very much, I think, a step above COD in some ways, and I think in other ways it's very tough because I feel Titanfall 2 also has like a higher skill ceiling than COD typically does. And not in the way that I think Titanfall 2 players are better than COD players. And that's not what I'm saying. But like COD, you only have the ground to basically be on. And Titanfall, there's all the like bunny hopping and sliding, grappling, flying across the map in the air, that you fling yourself one-shotting somebody with a sniper. Like, there's all that kind of stuff, and COD has its own versions of that. But I feel like in Titanfall, like, that kind of stuff just was a little bit harder for newer players to grasp because they were coming from other games where you typically don't have that. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say. That it just had a little bit of a different learning curve to it, I guess, is a better way to put it. I think they're both A games. I don't think they're S tier. I think they're A. There's something about Titanfall that it didn't, even though it was really good and I really like it, and I think it did better than some of the newer Call of Duties and Battlefields, and there was a lot of things that did better. There's something about it that it didn't also have the same, like, grab you thing. However, we will say Titanfall 2, the campaign was stellar, absolutely stellar. I think Titanfall 2 and the campaign, I would put that in like an S tier campaign because it was just really, really good. I really enjoyed the campaign in that game. Call of Duty 2. This is Call of Duty 1 and 2 are a huge nostalgia for me. I think they were very, very good, especially for their time. I put them up here at A tier. The campaign was good. The multiplayer was good. Everything about it was good. I don't know if it was S tier game, but it was. I think 1 and 2, Call of Duty 1 and 2 were better than a lot of the newer CODs in some ways. In some ways, I understand why COD went the way it did. And obviously, they got a lot more popular, so they're doing something right. But I think Call of Duty 1 and 2 were just very, very good, especially, again, for their time. The World War II shooter, I think they were some of the best. Very good, very good. Wolfenstein, New Order and New Order 2. Or New Order 2. I don't know if they were called New Order 2. These were... I don't know. I think these I put in the B category. I played through them. The third one even 1 tier less because I didn't like what they did with like the level design and things, but the story was all right. It's Wolfenstein. Again, another one like Doom. I think I grew up with those, and they were a lot of fun. I liked Enemy Territory and like the Return to Castle Wolfenstein way more. I think those are S tier for me. These ones, they're solid. They're enjoyable. The third one, I liked that they did it co-op. However, I didn't like the level design and like choices that they did with some of the changes versus the way these ones played out. The more linear design, they went to like a more open world one where you had like you're bouncing all over the level and stuff. I didn't like it, even though the added co-op I thought was going to be amazing. I didn't like it as much. The other one, C to D. These two definitely B. BioShock. BioShock Infinite, I think, is S tier. Really loved the story. The game felt great. Everything about it. Very, very good. It's just top notch all the way through, I think. BioShock 1. I played it after, again, its heyday. I tried them when they first came out, but I went back after playing Infinite and loving it to play BioShock 1. BioShock 1's okay. If you go backwards, if I experienced them in the other direction, this might be higher. But I felt like the first one was a little clunky. I felt like there's just, I don't know, the story didn't resonate as good for me. I think it was told, the way they told the story and everything, it just went better in BioShock 3. They definitely learned. 2 I'm going to leave off because I still have not actually played it. I started it and didn't really get into it. So it sits there. Half-Life. S tier. It's very good. It works. For its time, the story was really... I think it was really well told, and the scenery and like, even though it's dated now, I remember playing it when it first came out, and just everything about it it drew you in and really hooked you. Which, you know, after a period of playing a lot of different games, maybe things are harder to do that, but I think Half-Life, and same thing with Half-Life 2, they're excellent. Battlefield 1942, also S tier. Without a doubt, one of the best multiplayer games I think that has kind of ever existed, because when that first came out and there was, you know, 64 players in a server, you had tanks, planes, everything, and there was so many people going on, like, there was something special about Battlefield 1942. It was so good. It's S tier. That period of time, like Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2, I think you kind of can't touch them. And it would be hard to again, just because that kind of stuff was so new. And now it's, we got battle royales with 100 people in them. It's hard to hit that again. Bad Company 2. I believe is what this is too. Yeah. I remember again going back and playing this. And it was okay. And I'm talking about strictly the multiplayer and stuff like that. There was some weird things between like Battlefield 2, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield like 3 and 4. At Battlefield, if you go back and play it, it felt really weird to play. And I think there was something weird with like strafing and ADSing and like stuff like that, which maybe some people liked, maybe some people did it. But this one, I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough experience with it, so I leave it off. But there's something about it that just wasn't that great. I don't know. Battlefield 3 and 4 we'll put on there because I have much more experience with them. I think they're both. We'll put them up here because again, I think they were really, really good. I think they're better than these, but some of these games here I also think were better. However, with the destructible environments and like the modern feel, and this is, I think, where Battlefield really changed into like and accepted. It's really crazy. Everything's exploding. Everything's constant gunshots feel, and this is modern Battlefield, the start of modern Battlefield, which could have maybe even started with like here, but I think for me it more solidified here. They're not amazing, but they're also, again, I think really good games for what they are. Call of Duty 3, largely, honestly, I know I played this. I don't even remember it. So honestly, I'm sure it would fall in somewhere down here. I don't even remember it, so I'm not even going to bother putting it on there. Battlefield Hardline, didn't really experience it as much as well. It's there. Battlefield 1, I played a little bit of it, and it never hooked me. Honestly, I put it down here. It was okay for what it was, but there was something about it. It just wasn't magical. And I think Battlefield 5 is the same thing down here. I played it. I enjoyed it. I played the short-lived Battle Royale. Enjoyed it. But there was a lot of things. I don't know. Battlefield, these are not as good as these back in Battlefield heyday, especially Battlefield 1942 and 2. I think were peak Battlefield. And then we had 3 and 4, which are kind of like good. And then the rest of them are not so hot. Far Cry. Okay. First Far Cry. Again, kind of like Crysis. I think when it first came out, there was so much new and cool about this game. It was alright. It was alright. There wasn't anything special other than, like, again, open world, open island. You'd kind of do whatever you want. It looked amazing for the time. I put it right with like Crysis in that, like, when it came out, it was just so cool. But like, was it really a good game? It was alright. I think it was more eye candy than it was substance, but not in a way that there wasn't any substance. It was just a shooter. And at the end of the day, I felt, at least. Just like Crysis, I felt like it was just a shooter, but there was a lot of eye candy, and at the time there was a lot done that was amazing, but I don't think they're super amazing. Far Cry 3, really like the story in Far Cry 3, and obviously the new Far Cry system is mixed with people, whether you like it or don't like it, and you like all the outposts and stuff like this. I think it's an A game. I think it was really good. I think there was some things like with the multiplayer and stuff that could have been better, but I think it was really good. And Far Cry 4 as well, even though very similar. Blood Dragon, I have not played yet. Primal, have not played yet. Far Cry 5, put it here as well. I really enjoyed the story, and it's one of those simple, fun games. I do enjoy its gameplay loop. It's just fun. and I think all of them are A games in my opinion. Call of Duty World War II. This is exact middle of the road Call of Duty. It is what it is. There was nothing to write home about. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It's just there. New Dawn I didn't play. Payday 2. This one's hard for me because I think Payday 2 is a really good game, but every time I go back to it, I have the same problem. It feels so clunky, and it does feel dated now, I feel. But it is a really good game, and I think there's a lot of things like if they updated it and made it feel better, which I think they are doing. I think Payday 3 is already confirmed. I think it will be amazing. Payday 2, though, I think it's a B game. It's really good. I think you can get 1,000 hours or more out of it, and I know a lot of people have. And I know I got probably 100. I don't even know. I played a lot of Payday and Payday 2. At least I feel I did. But I don't think it's anything above a B. I think it's a really middle of the road, but the fact that it's like co-op and it's a heist game and everything, it's got a lot going for it. But is it an amazing game? I don't know. Destiny 1, I never had a PS3 or PS whatever. I think it was PS3. Never had one, so I did not play through that. So I don't have opinions. Destiny 2, I think it's an A game. Destiny's was an A game. I really loved this story. I initially bought Destiny 2 right when it came out. I played through the story in like the first couple of days, and I absolutely loved it, and then I put it down and didn't touch it. I got back into it when it was like free to play again and played a little bit of co-op and this and that, and I do really enjoy it, and I think it's a really good game, but it does have a lot of downsides and a lot of drawbacks, whether you, depending on like what you like about loot systems and RPGs and looter shooters, and why you like them, why you play them, what you enjoy about them. It may or may not be for you. I think it's an A game. It does everything it does really well. The story is actually pretty good. The shooting's satisfying. There's a lot of good things about it, but there's, I think, a lot of drawbacks as well. Depending on what you like. Quake 3 Arena, Quake Champions. I didn't play a whole lot of Quake Arena and that kind of stuff back in the day. See, this is always like where I feel like Quake 2 was also like really popular, and we were missing a couple other like Call of Duties. We're missing Battlefield 2. Like, there's some weird omissions from this, which Battlefield 2 is regarded as one of the best Battlefield games of all time. Some weird omissions here, but you know, we go on. We'll rank Quake Champions. Quake Champions it's a C game. I prefer Unreal way over Quake. Champions is weird. I've tried to get into it a couple of times. I played like the beta tests or whatever, and I played it after it went free to play, and I just can't get into it. I don't know. There's something about it that just, it's very middle of the road. Is it good? And you know, if you like that kind of thing, yeah. But there's something missing. It's just not. It just doesn't have it, and whatever it is, I don't really know. But there's something about it that just doesn't draw you in. I much prefer Unreal Tournament pre-alpha, which unfortunately isn't in development anymore. So yeah, it's a C game. Borderlands. Loved Borderlands. Don't know where Borderlands 2 or 3 is on this thing, but we have Borderlands and Borderlands the pre-sequel. So Borderlands is an A game. Going back and playing the first one now, not the greatest idea, but when it first came out, the looter shooter thing and all the guns that were really crazy, and the story, the classes, it was really good. Borderlands 2 obviously I think is the same thing but better. They found everything, and it's more modern, and I think it holds up better. And the humor, I feel like they found themselves a little bit more, whereas like 1 was a little more serious, 2 was a little more goofy. I think Borderlands is an A game. The pre-sequel, there's something about the pre-sequel I couldn't get into as much. I put it almost at a C. It's Borderlands, but there was something missing with the pre-sequel for me, and maybe it was the I didn't spend enough time with it. Whereas like 2 and 3 I would put up here. This one, it was okay. Deus Ex. I never got into Deus Ex or Deus Ex Invisible War. I played a handful of them, but I could never really get into it. I think it did a lot of things with like player choice and ways to go about completing missions and things like that. I would put them probably above, but you know, there's something about it I don't feel comfortable ranking because I didn't spend enough time playing them. I guess maybe that is a fair ranking itself. So you know what? Let's put them on there. Let's put them on there. Deus Ex, I'll put it as a. For me, it's a B game. Invisible War, we'll put it at C. If I went back and probably played this today, I would probably like it a lot more. But back then, it was a little slow for me. The story was a little, for me, wasn't that great. Being older and going back, probably like System Shock 2, I've gone back to it. I would probably rank it higher, but I have not with Deus Ex. So for me, it's a B on Deus Ex. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I'll give it an A, or an S, I'm sorry. I think one of the best multiplayer games of all time. Is it COD in its pure middle-of-the-road COD sense? Yeah. But for some reason, Modern Warfare 2 did that the best. It did middle-of-the-road COD average the best. Was there a lot of issues with it? Yes. Is it the best game in the world? No. Was there a lot of flaws with the kill streaks and guns and grenade launchers and all that stuff? Yeah. But for some reason, that game was a lot of fun. And it might have just been it fell in at that right time when it was just good and popular. But Modern Warfare 2, I think like a lot of people, it's up there. Deus Ex, Human, what was this? Human something? Human Revolution, I think. This was like a C thing for me as well. I tried, couldn't do it. I didn't play Mankind Divided. Deus Ex Human Revolution is just okay. Portal, I'm not a huge puzzle game person, but Portal games are really good. The story is really good. For what they are, Portal and Portal 2, I'll give them an A. Even though for me, I'm not being a puzzle person in anything, the fact that I was able to get into Portal and Portal 2, I'll give them an A. Because they did something right if you can draw me in with that. Unreal Tournament 2003, Unreal Tournament 2004 are all S tier in my opinion. I think pinnacle of what shooters should strive to be in control, fluidity, kind of balance, and different game modes. Like, they just did so much right. And modding communities and everything like that. I think absolutely stellar. Like, you can't top those. It's very, very hard. They're all S tier. Unreal Tournament 3. There was something about number 3 that didn't jive as well for me. So this one, I'm gonna put it down at like B. I didn't get into that one as much, but these ones 10 out of 10. And I think the big thing is, like, I don't know how many people still play Unreal Tournament 3. I know 2004 has a community. Could be a little telling sign as well. Left 4 Dead is an S tier game. I mean, as well as Left 4 Dead 2. It was co-op, 4-player co-op zombie horde thing done right. Could you do it better today? Probably. But was Left 4 Dead perfect and Left 4 Dead 2 perfect for its time and still pretty perfect? Yeah. You can't go wrong. Modern Warfare 3. C. It was so. There was something about number 3, much like Advanced Warfare, where, you know, there wasn't that specialness. It felt weird. Guns felt weird. It wasn't bad, no, but it didn't have it again. And maybe because it came off of the, like, Modern Warfare 2 and being that kind of being so played and overplayed, maybe just there was something about it that didn't jive. Duke Nukem Forever. I feel like I've tried to play this a couple of times, and every time it like has issues or crashes, so I'll leave it off the list. Rainbow Six Siege. My feelings on Siege. Well, this video is quickly turning into a very long one, but Siege itself, I was a alpha player, alpha, beta, something. where it felt very different. Speed was very different. I was also a huge Rainbow Six 3 player, which I think was one of the last great like Rainbow Six games. And then they switched to Siege, which is like more of a hero shooter 5v5 thing rather than the like realistic plan your I don't know, what do you want to call it, mission before you go in, control the AI, or play in multiplayer, or some adversarial where it was much, much slower to what Rainbow Six Siege is now. Judging Rainbow Six Siege on its own without all that, it's a good game, but again, there's something about it that it's missing the something to bring it to S tier. It's really good. It does a lot that a lot of other games do not do. I like the hero system, and it's got good heroes. The destruction is really cool. But again, there's something about it that brings it down. It's not an S tier game. I think it's very good. Prey. S tier game. One of the few games that I really, really got into the story. If you like System Shock and you want a more modern System Shock, Prey is right in there. Everything about it was really, really good. There is some things that could have been done better, but I think this game excited me from start to finish, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. S tier game. Play it. The Darkness. This one's lumped in with Duke Nukem. I haven't really played these three yet. I feel like I tried to and they crashed. Battlefront 2. All these okay. Battlefront 2. I put them as A tier games. They were both really, really good, and having a Star Wars Battlefield back in the day was something I remembered always wanting, and we finally got it. And they were really good. They were really good. They were not S tier, but they were really, really good. And that's, I guess, kind of what I would leave it at. Metro. Okay. We only have 2033 and Exodus here. We don't have the Last Light. So, what do I feel about Metro? I played all of them, and they all have a very different vibe to them, where like the first one was much more like, I feel slow paced. Last Light was more fast paced, shoot 'em, and then Exodus kind of fell, I feel like, a little bit in the middle. I think Metro, the first one, like it's hard to judge these based on like what else is in the tier. I think the first one we put at A. It did a lot really, really good. The storytelling and gameplay and just scenery was very, very good. Exodus, I put at B. There was something about it I feel like that was missing compared to the other ones. And maybe just the story wore on me after a certain point, but I think Exodus is a B. And 2033 is an A. Okay, what are we on to here? Bulletstorm, never played it. Super Hot, also an A tier game. It's unique, and the art style is unique. The storytelling was unique, and it is good. On top of that, I think Super Hot is something you should play if you like. It's almost like puzzly too, because I don't know if there's another FPS that is really like it, since I'm only moves when you move. Is a really cool concept, and yeah, Super Hot is an A tier game. All right, Fallouts. Let's offend some people. Fallout New Vegas. I know a lot of people love New Vegas. I also liked New Vegas a lot. I think it's an A game. I don't think it's an S game, but I think it's an A game. I think Fallouts, for me, they didn't hit as hard as a lot of people. Fallout 4, I think, is a C. We're using B as our middle of the road, aren't we? I'll put it with B. I don't think it belongs here with these, but I think it's a B game. And then 76, I never played, but I think New Vegas and number 3 are very close to S tier. They were very good. They were the only, I think New Vegas 3 and 2 were like the ones I got into. 4, I tried so many times and I couldn't. There was something about it I couldn't get into. It's a B for me. Are they good? Yeah. Are they bad? No. You like Fallout, you like them. It's another one you kind of know what you're going to get. Halo. Here's another one. Let's offend some more people. Halo, I think... I'll give the first one... This is hard because I have strong opinions about Halo, and I don't think it's the greatest game in the world. A lot of people give it that reputation, even though they may or may not actually feel that way. Halo has the reputation of having a lot of people that are very adamant that it was one of the best games of all time or one of the best franchises. Halo is just, I think it's okay. It's got good lore, it's got good storytelling. The campaigns are always good. Plus, they did co-op, and obviously, multiplayer was fantastic. However, was it a good shooter? I don't think it really was. And I say this all the time when we get into conversations about Halo. I know I've had this conversation a million times, is that Halo was kind of floaty. The guns didn't feel that great. We all remember the assault rifle in the first one that kind of felt like you're shooting dust at somebody. The pistol was like really, really good. The sniper was a sniper. Like, rocket launcher was a rocket launcher. Like, there wasn't anything that, even though I played a lot of it, enjoyed the multiplayer, it was mostly because that's what we had to play multiplayer. Like, if there was something else we could do, like play like Counter-Strike or something like that, which a lot of the times I was doing as well at the time, I think all those other things were better. I don't think Halo was really that good. I think it was really good because it was the game on Xbox that everybody could play multiplayer with. I think, you know, I also played it on PC when it came out for PC the first time. And plus they gave us a flamethrower. It was good for Xbox, it was good for PC, it was good for multiplayer. But I think it was just because of what it was up against at the time. Halo just kind of was the thing that everybody had and played and everything like that. But I don't think, to me, it was a really good game. Like, it was, again, I'm not saying it's bad by any means, but I don't think it was as good as it kind of has a reputation of being. Just in shooter fields, I think there was so much better shooters out there. But I would still place it as an A game because, again, of the story, the local multiplayer, the online multiplayer in some cases as well, depending on what platform you're playing it on. And again, I'll put Halo 2 again up here. Number 3, I would put up there as well. And then I feel like that's where they started to more go downhill. I don't remember playing 4 or Reach or anything like that. I know I did, but I would leave all those up there as A. With all those complaints I have about them, I don't think they're terrible games, and I don't think that they're just S tier for me, but they're good. They were good. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Again, B. B. Black Ops 3 was a B. It just middle of the road Call of Duty. Again, it's nothing special. Mirror's Edge. B. I think Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is better than like the Modern Warfare 3s, but it's another one that wasn't very good in my opinion. But I played it more than the other one, so Mirror's Edge I think is a B. It's again a unique thing, and it did what it did really, really well. However, compared to like some of these other games, I don't think it's as good. So I'll slot it at B. But uniqueness, definitely. We'll leave the Catalyst out. I never played it. Black, I remember playing. I honestly have no idea because I don't remember it all. So, again, all these ones I don't remember, but I know I played. It might mean something that they slot in like somewhere over here as just being like okay because they didn't do anything special. PlanetSide 2. It's okay. I loved PlanetSide 1 way more. I really got into PlanetSide 1. 2, again, it didn't have it. And I don't know what it was, but it was missing it. And maybe it's because there were so many other things doing... I wouldn't say similar to PlanetSide, because PlanetSide is pretty unique. Like, nothing else really does what PlanetSide 2 does. However, I think it was more magical in number 1 because nobody else was doing anything close to what PlanetSide was doing. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that either, because like World War II Online and other things like that did exist. I don't know, but maybe there was something special about PlanetSide 1, I think, over PlanetSide 2. So PlanetSide 2 is just a B for me. Serious Sam. Okay, how do I feel about Serious Sam? Serious Sam is, I think, a B. Because it to me it plays almost like a B version, like a B movie version of Unreal or something like that. It's very okay. I really enjoy them, but I don't think they're stellar, like some of the other things. And I think 3 would fall right in here with it. They're all kind of there for me. I think they do some interesting things in like multiplayer and co-op and stuff like that, but I think they're just very middle of the road games. But saying that, I really enjoy them. I mean, we're playing through number 4 on YouTube right now, so I mean, yeah, it's right there. Rising Storm. Rising Storm. I feel, again, Rising Storm is a B for me. I liked Rising Storm Vietnam more, and I liked Red Orchestra 1 and 2 more. Something about Rising Storm didn't hit right for me, so I put it there. Stalker. This is another one. Cult classic. A lot of you Tarkov fans love it. I like it, but I think, again, going back, Stalker's dated for me. I'm really excited about Stalker 2. The Stalker's dated for me. I have not tried to mod it out like crazy. I think it has a lot of cool concepts and stuff like that, but it also has a lot of funky weirdness. It goes in at B. It goes in at B for me. Black Ops 2. I played a lot of Black Ops 2, but I never owned it or played it as much as the other ones. But it was when I always played at somebody else's house and we played co-op multiplayer. Honestly, I know a lot of people love Black Ops 2. I put it in B. This is better than 3. And better than like some of the other Call of Duties, but I think, I don't know, maybe it's just the future tech that doesn't sit as well with me. I put it there. The B. It's pretty good. Is this anything to write home about? Nah. Fear. Fear was a B as well to me. It was spooky in some ways. It did a lot of cool things, but it's alright. It's alright. I don't remember playing 2 or 3. Number 1 was alright. Dishonored. This is another one. I put it at like B. It was a little long-winded for me. I didn't get into the story as much. I'm not a stealthy approach guy. Was it a good game? Yes. Was it for me? No. Did I enjoy it as much as some other things? No. It's a B. It's above average. Okay, Arma 2. I think these are A games. Are they like S tier? No, but they do a lot of things right that nobody else does, and the amount of like customization, scenario editing, and things like that, there's a lot of things you really can't get elsewhere, and it does them well. So I think they're A games. I think they're A games. You know, I put 3 right in there with it. Insurgency. Okay, I played Insurgency as a mod, and I played it also as a full release game. I think it's an A. It's very good. I think there was a lot of good things it did, and it did a lot of things right, and it did them back when there was a little lack of that kind of stuff, and that was the only place to kind of get that. Insurgency Sandstorm. Do I think it's as good as the first one? I think maybe not, because we have more of that type of thing now. Is it really good as of a game still? Yes. It's a tough one. I feel like this is kind of floating in between here and here. This again is something where, even though I think it's really good and it's like on the level of a lot of these, there's something about it that it's missing it again, and it almost puts it down here. But I also think it's better than all these games, so I'm gonna move it up to A. And it's an A game. What else we got? What else we got? We're chugging through these, man, but we're almost there. Time Splitters 1, I do not remember at all. Black Ops 4. This is also kind of a Where did I put Black Ops 3 here? You know what? I put it here because again, Black Ops 4 I think was better than these, but it also wasn't a great Call of Duty. It was very middle of the road. Something about the future ones, man. They just don't have again it. And there's something missing. It doesn't hit home as well. And the whole like hero shooter thing they tried over here too, I don't think worked really well. Call of Duty 1, you're going all the way up top. Going all the way up top. Call of Duty 1 was special. Along with Medal of Honor, like Allied Assault and those back in the day. Killing Floor 2. It's a B game. It's a B game. It's very good. I enjoy Killing Floor 2. But I don't think it's an S tier game or anything like the other ones. It's simple in a way, also complicated and hard at sometimes, but I feel like Killing Floor 2 is a B game. It in some ways feels low budget compared to other things, which it might be more low budget than some of these other AAA titles, but I don't know. Again, there's a little bit of clunkiness to Killing Floor 2 that I feel for me personally, there's a lot I would like better if it felt maybe a little bit more like Left 4 Dead or something, a little more movement. I think Killing Floor 2 sometimes can be you feel stuck in the mud, I guess. But it is also really satisfying shooting and stuff like that. So it's a B tier game for me. Paladins. Paladins is weird. I know it catches a lot of flack for being like a Overwatch ripoff. And I personally, as much as I hate like when people say it's a ripoff of this game or ripoff of that game, or it's they stole their ideas or whatever, I think Paladins is very much like Overwatch. Without saying that it ripped off its ideas, I really don't care if they did or didn't. Like, to be honest, if they did, it's still its own thing, and it has a lot of pros for it being free to play. And it has got a little bit different designs for its characters and things like that. It does some of its own things, but I lump it in with Overwatch because I feel like they play very much the same. And if I'm looking for that style of game, those are like two maybe in Team Fortress 2 that I would be looking at if I'm looking at that style. So that's what I'm going to compare them against. I'll compare Paladins as its own game. And when I do that, Paladins feels cheap compared to Overwatch. And I think a lot of the reason is maybe the devs are more experienced and there's more money in Overwatch and things like that, which probably is. I mean, it's a free-to-play game and everything. But like hitboxes, maybe they're better now. I always give the benefit of the doubt because I played Paladins pretty early on. The hitboxes are always weird for me as far as like you'd have a box or something like that or on the cart or something and you'd shoot at like that little space right next to the box, but it would actually still hit the box even though there was a clear line of sight. Like little things like that are what I felt Paladins was that made it feel cheap compared to Overwatch. Does that mean it's a bad game? No, not at all. It does the job and everything. The characters felt like B-movie versions of Overwatch, whereas like everything about it feels kind of like you're watching the same movie, but it's a B-movie, which isn't again a bad thing. Paladins is a good game on its own right. And again, comparing it to Overwatch is comparing a free game to a full $60 game. And probably more experience in Blizzard's case, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Is Paladins a good game? Yeah. Is it? Would I play Overwatch over it? Every time. Paladins has some unique ideas too. But I don't know. To me, it's middle of the road. I put it down here with these. It's C. It's a C game. There's just it doesn't have that it factor again. It doesn't have that it factor. Duke Nukem 3D. This is a tough one. I remember playing it back in the day. It was cool for its time. It was good. It was a good shooter. It had an okay story if you consider those kind of Doom-esque games like basically just shoot the aliens was the story. And it doesn't need much more than that, in my opinion. This is a toughie. Was it an A game or a B game? This one, I'll put it a B. There's something I feel like a lot of these other games did better, but Duke Nukem 3D was really good for its time. The original Prey. So I played this right before the new Prey, just because I had never played it. It is very much like 5 to 6 hours of campaign. It's very short. The campaign was weird, but okay. It doesn't have anything to do with the new Prey, for instance. But it had some cool ideas, some cool things. The story was pretty cool, considering like it was a little off the wall and weird, and there was like aliens and stuff like that. Did it really do anything special? Not really. But I'll put it as a B game. It was solid. It was solid. It's worth a play, especially if you get it cheap and everything like that. And I believe you still have to like do some stuff in the settings to make it 1080p and stuff nowadays. But you know, it's all right. It's all right. Oh, here's Metro Last Light. We were talking about that earlier. Last Light. I think Last Light was good too. I think Last Light also would be an A game. I think it's above Exodus, but I think 2033 was also better. But I put it in an A. I did also like Last Light. Where are we at? Fallout 3. We talked about Fallout 3 earlier as definitely an A game. Right up there with New Vegas, above Fallout 4. Rising Storm Vietnam. We also talked about that earlier. I think this is an A game as well. It's as far as Rising Storm goes, I loved Vietnam. It does a lot of things very cool. It's got a good vibe. Serious Sam 2, we talked about that. That is a B. Perfect Dark. Don't have enough experience with that. Only played it a handful of times. We're lumping all the stalkers together. I actually think I played the first one, which might be this one here, Call of Pripyat, rather than Chernobyl. So maybe swap those out. Doom 2, I don't remember compared to like Doom 1 and 2. Lump that in with Doom. I played them all at a certain period of time. Arma 3 we talked about. A game. Another Resistance game. Not familiar. Team Fortress 2 was an A game. It was an A game. I don't know how much Team Fortress 2 really still goes on, because I feel like a lot of those free-to-play games, years and years down the road, they kind of like get a really weird, like they're still alive, but there's so much like custom mods and stuff for a lot of that stuff nowadays. I don't know how. I haven't been back on Team Fortress 2, and all the like items and stuff like that might be a little crazy at this point. So, but Team Fortress 2, it was always a good game. The pushcart mode is classic. You can't go wrong with that. Battlefield 2, S tier game. We got to move it all the way up. S tier game. We talked about Battlefield 2, way up there. It was a special one, and Project Reality mods and all that stuff, it was all good. 2142, the Battlefield game that like I feel gets forgotten by time. I had very little experience with 2142. So again, I don't really feel too fair ranking it. I'd probably put it like in B, because I remember it being good, but I also didn't own Battlefield 2142. I remember playing it a good deal at a buddy's house, and I remember really liking it, but I can't remember enough to give it a fair jam. Okay, Far Cry 2, another one I feel is divisive. It had a lot of interesting things that it did, and it was a good game. I again will put it at I'll put it at A. I think it did a lot of cool things. Actually, I'll put it at B. I'm putting it at B. A lot of people love 2 and think it's one of the best ones. I couldn't get into 2 like I could 3, 4, and 5. But I think it did a lot of cool things, and I think it's a really good one. On my list, it's B. It's B. What do we got left? What do we got left? Quake 2, Quake 4. Okay, out of the Quakes, I do remember Quake 4. This was I will also put it as a B game. It was okay. I remember like the multiplayer and everything, and this Maybe it had a campaign. I think it did. It was okay. Borderlands 2, A game, 100%. Maybe even S. I think it's an S game. It's one but better. I think it's an S game. We'll leave it up there. Killing Floor 1. You also pop into the B category. You were good. Nothing really to write home about. Modern Warfare 1. Didn't have enough experience with it. Okay. Counter-Strike Condition 0. You get an A because you were weird, but also you were Counter-Strike, and you're really good at the same point. But Counter-Strike Source, S tier. Something about Condition 0. There was the Counter-Strike again, forgotten by time. The weird point in between 1.6 and Source where they tried some things and it had a campaign and there was like all the weird missions and stuff, and it was okay. Counter-Strike Go all the way up here. Why we have 2 of these, I don't know, but it's worth putting up there twice apparently. I'll put it back down. Apex Legends. I think Apex Legends is an A game. It's a great battle royale. That's really all there is to say about it. It's a great battle royale. It's free to play. Try it. Give it a shot. Borderlands 3. A game. A game. I think people maybe got a little bit tired of like the Borderlands system. I think Borderlands 3 is really, really good. The humor is pretty on point. Like everything I think that's in Borderlands 2 is Borderlands 3, but there's something again missing in Borderlands 3 over like 1 and 2 that 3 feels a little bit not as good as the other 2. You miss that like high standard. I think everybody set for themselves when you're expecting it, but it's a really good game anyways. So yeah, put it up there. Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2. I think they're both A games. I actually, you know what? They go down to B. Go down to B. There's something again missing about them. I played both of them, bought both of them. I like them. They're Star Wars. I love Star Wars. But they both lost me after a pretty quick period of time. I think they're really good, but yeah, they're missing something. Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, back up to A. I think again they revitalized the format, and it's COD done well and right again, and it goes right back up there. It goes right back up there to A. It feels like the older CODs, and it does give you that feel of Modern Warfare, and the combat feels good, the guns feel good. I never played the campaign, but I heard generally liked. So yeah, that is it. That's our community tier list, and by community I mean me. We could do a community one someday. That would be fun as well. Let me know what other tier lists you want me to see, what want me to do in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. So there's your S tier games, your A tier games, your B tier games, your C, and your D. Surprisingly, only one made it to D. Told you, I let a lot go. It doesn't mean don't play it. It could be pretty good. But I think there's probably some that are forgotten here. Let me know what your favorite games are. See you next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Toodles. I'm out.